All right. And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Realtors Winning. Myself and Kate Johnson today. And we have another Kate today, actually, our special guest, Kate Troyer, who is a home stager and probably a whole lot more. So we're gonna learn a little bit about her today and what she does and how she helps people in their houses. So Kate, why don't you take it away? So tell us about what you do. So, and I know I probably butchered that. What is your give us your real, your job, your title, what do you do, and how do you work with people and help them?
Kate, Homeslice Living, which is actually new. That's something we'll probably talk a little bit about today.
Homeslice Living?
Yes, Homeslice Living. So we originally started as Homeslice Studios. And then recently did like a full-on rebrand. I actually updated the website's completely new. Everything's complete. I own a staging and design company. And we do a little bit of everything. We kind of started out originally as just a vacant staging company, and then slowly added staging consultations, which we do a ton of now. We've done, over 100 of those in less than a year. And then obviously we offer vacant staging as well as different home design options, home consultations, pretty much anything, to do with staging, styling, and design.
I love that, Kate. And I know you and I met over, well over a year ago now. And I think we connected just by following each other on Instagram. So talk to us about what your social media presence looks like for your business.
So I think that that's something that has been huge in just how fast that we've grown. Because I worked for another company prior to starting my own company, which, we started just about a year ago. So I honestly, I feel like if I wouldn't social media savvy, I definitely don't think our business would have grown as fast as it did. So that's something that we rely heavily on. And we make it a lot about, what we're doing. It's not as much about, and this is something that we're actually getting ready to kind of add more in. Something that I wish I would have done sooner is kind of add more of myself into our social media for Homeslice. So that's something that we've been kind of working on with the rebrand as well, as actually putting more of a face to that also, which I think is going to,
So what do you mean? I'm confused. So walk me through. So start me out. So what were you doing before with social media and now what are you doing with it?
So I guess what I should say is, so if you would look at pictures of houses that we've staged and designed, there's no pictures of me, there's no pictures of our team. It's literally all about our work, which is awesome. And that's actually kind of how I started. I wanted it to be more, focused on the actual work that we were doing. And now I feel like as we're kind of rebranding and making it more fresh and modern, in the brand is having a face to put to it, and having some something that's there that's, I think, connecting more with people. Because I have had people in the past be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were a real person. I thought you were just, an Instagram, an Instagram account that showed pretty houses that they liked. And I'm like, oh no, that's our work. We're real. So
you have a really great personal brand too, outside of Homeslice. Your Naughty Martha brand is so amazing. I think that's going to really, really collaborate well together. I think putting your Naughty Martha brand and the Homeslice brand together it's going to for sure take you to the next level. I think you're so right. I think people at the end of the day, they love the quality of your work, but at the end of the day, they really love you. So talk to me about why home staging? How did you get here?
So I actually kind of started with home staging when I turned 30 a couple years ago. I was just super unhappy, and I was in the insurance industry. I'd been in the insurance industry for years. And I just was not feeling fulfilled. And I kept asking myself, what do you actually want? And to be honest with you, it took me months to be able to even answer that question. And when I was finally able to answer that question for myself, the one thing that kept coming to me was like, you want to be Martha Stewart? And I would just laugh at myself because I'm like, okay, well, what are you just going to tell people like, hey, I'm piecing out of this insurance thing. I'm going to be Martha Stewart. So that was like a very big goal and vision, which is still my vision, but I knew that I had to start somewhere. And so I already had a really vast real estate agent network all over. I had really great relationships with agents. And so I was like, okay, how can I business? I knew I wanted to eventually do design work, decor, styling, all of that. But I also knew that I was going to need a good portfolio to actually get people to hire me to do that for them. So it was kind of like those two things just came together. Hey, I already have an agent network, and I know that I'm really good at this. I know that I just need to be able to show people I'm good at it. So that's originally how we started with just vacant staging. Was essentially, that was kind of like my first step in building the business so that, you know, I could get a killer portfolio and be like, hey, I'm really good at this. And honestly, like, it has worked amazingly well. We've grown exponentially over the last year or so. I must be doing something semi-right.
So Kate, so you talk with a lot of realtors every day, and it sounds like you know what you're doing on social media. So what do you see that realtors do right on social media, and what do you see as like a massive mistake that realtors make on social media?
Oh, that's a really great question. I would say a really big one that like always stands out to me is listing photos.
Yeah.
We do a ton of staging consultations, and that's always our goal, right? Is like, we want awesome photos. We want the house to photograph amazing. We want to get people in the house. And when I see agents constantly posting pictures, and, you know, it's like there's clutter in the kitchen and there's a stack of mail, you know, on the counter, and there's just, yes, it's all really small things a lot of people just see as not a big deal. But when I see pictures like that and my eye is drawn to the pile of mail and the laundry in the corner, or the blinds are closed and it's really dark, it's just something that drives me insane. And I will sometimes like reach out to people in the nicest way and be like, hey, did you know that we offer staging consultations?
Yeah.
You know, because that's something that I think, one, that's not only a representation of you, you know, as the agent, which I feel like is not a great first impression. And two, I feel like it's not doing your listing any justice, right? Like, it's not really helping to get people in. It's just kind of like, oh, look at those pictures that Karen posted yesterday.
So what should I do? So if I'm a real estate agent, so it sounds like hire a stager, right? And that's okay. So, and then once I have a stager and my listings staged, then what do I do? What should I do is, what do you see that realtors make mistakes on social media, just as far as their strategy goes, or what they're posting and what they're doing?
So I think sometimes, and this is going to kind of, I think that go back to kind of what I said earlier, is I think you need a good mix of your personality and what you're actually doing for a living.
So what does that mean?
So what I will say is that one thing that I see with a lot of agents is they're not really talking about what they're doing. They're like, hey, look, it's a picture of me. Look at me. Oh, by the way, I did X, Y, and Z today. But at the end of the day, I'm really sure, like, do you sell a lot of homes? Are you good at what you do? What's your what are you doing marketing wise? Like, I love to see agents that I can tell like have good marketing plans where they've got good listing photos. They've got good posts on Facebook, you know, like they're constantly marketing themselves and their homes, and not just being like, oh, hey, look, here's a picture of me. And then the 50 million things I ran around and did today. It just like, does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining that.
It's almost like, when they don't treat social media as like, and it's weird to say this, but like a priority of their business strategy, and it's more of like an afterthought. You can absolutely totally tell that social media.
Yeah, that would be an excellent way to put it. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's true too. So when you work with realtors, and I know you work with non-realtors also, but when you work with realtors, what can they expect from you? So say I'm hiring you as a realtor today. I have a listing and say it's not vacant. It has a family there. Like, what can I expect from you and your service?
So when it comes to occupied listings where we're coming in to do more of a staging consultation, I think this is something that, at least personally, I think we do a little bit differently. We're extremely hands-on. So I'm going to spend an hour to 2 with the client, depending on how big the house is. I'm going to do stuff while we're there. So my goal when I go into a staging consult is that you, as the real estate agent, even if your client does absolutely nothing that I suggest, I want you to still know that I was there, right? So that's my goal in all of them, is like, I want to move furniture or rehang some artwork or style the dining table or something, right? Every house needs a little something. Clutter, and it's just like going in and everybody's like, oh, what do I do with this? I will take time, like, hey, can we make a pack up pile in this room? I find that when I am actually kind of doing the consultation with the seller, one, they have a lot more fun with me. Like, I've never, in the almost 100, like we're close to over 120, a little less than a year. And I've never had anybody get mad at me or upset with me. Most of our clients do what we, ask them to do because we make it fun. Like, I think, Kate, you and I have talked enough that, like, when I'm just like this with my clients, right? I'm very down to earth. We have fun with it. And like I said, I think the thing that sets us apart is that we're coming in and we're kind of doing it along with them. So they don't just feel like I'm a designer who's coming in and saying, oh, here's this long list of stuff you need to fix in your house, right? Like, I never want them to feel overwhelmed or like I just gave them this list and I think their home is crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think as like a listing agent, it's really, sometimes it's tough to walk into a house in this like world of buyers wanting those HGTV homes and saying, like, I see the potential in your house and I see the bones and I'm the expert in pricing. Sometimes it's hard to say, like, but also you should probably clean. So Kate's really, really good at coming in and saying, like, giving a really warm hug to the sellers and saying, like, I'm obsessed with your house. I love your house. You're in great hands with Kate. She's a pricing expert or real estate expert. What I'm going to do is, like, give your house some love and get the most views on your house possible. So I think you're a really strategic partner for realtors, especially right now. What are some of the biggest questions sellers have for you when you're in their home?
Oh gosh. I feel like a lot of times, question wise, it's honestly little stuff. Like, should they, like I mentioned that stack of mail earlier in pictures, like a lot of it's little things like that. Like, oh, should we actually clear everything off of here? It's very like minute stuff, I feel like. And then I would say the second thing that they always ask me, I shouldn't say always, if they are planning to do any updates, because that's something that we'll go over as well in a consult, like, hey, it would look awesome if you painted this room. Hey, here's a color. So I definitely get a lot of that. People just kind of wanting, like, even just like little tidbits for their next home. Like, oh, well, we really liked this bathroom in this house, but our next one looks like this. Like, would you recommend something for that? I feel like I get more like hypothetical questions for their next home than I actually do about like what to do while I'm there. I feel like most of the time, either people have sold before and they kind of have the idea of what they need, but they're really just kind of more looking to us for guidance on, just all the little stuff that needs to be checked off their list to get them prepped and ready.
For sure. So obviously everyone knows the market right now. There's houses flying off the shelves and multiple offers. So based on current market, what do you think like the massive benefit is to using a stager right now?
So I would say on the vacant staging side, we'll start with the vacant staging side. I think it's huge because 95% of the investors I'm working with are getting, probably 10 grand or more for their properties. So, and I will say with vacant staging, we are definitely not the cheapest vacant stager. And I won't pretend to be that. But what we do actually offer is, the fact that, like I said, pretty much 95% of our investors are ending, being able to sell for 10,000 or more. Oh my goodness. Yeah, phone ringing. My computer's gonna die. So that's kind of like the huge benefit to me is, yes, houses are already selling fast right now. So it's not that, we're not necessarily, we might get them sold a little bit faster, maybe within a couple days of listing. But I think the biggest thing is that you're getting more money for them.
For sure. And for homes that you're seeing the same result for non-vacant stagings also?
Yeah, I think with our staging consults, that's really, especially with COVID, something that we really ramped up on consults, because I think what we're giving is like really clean, awesome photos. So we're getting more people in the property.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So would you consider yourself a partner of a real, what if a real estate team came to you and said, hey, like, we don't know if we'll use this for every listing, but we really want to partner with you. We want an exclusive stager. Is that something that you have in your repertoire?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for sure. I actually have a handful of agencies that we already work with that we do, maybe not quite all of them, but we do a large majority of their listings. And then, of course, I have just single agents that use us for most of their listings. And then just, your normal one-off kind of here and there. But yeah, definitely. We love working with teams because I think that's where a lot of times, you can truly see the benefit, and we actually get to talk about the benefits more. And I think it shows more when, you have a whole team using us as opposed to, one or two people.
Yeah, I love that. And I know your boyfriend's in lending right now too. How's he surviving the market?
He's surviving. I feel like he hasn't stopped working in about 6 months. Like, I've been working like crazy as well, but you know what I mean? My job is so much different than mortgage lending, right?
For sure.
So he has definitely been losing his mind a little bit, but I mean, they've been killing it. They've had, I think they like quadrupled their business last month from the previous year. So it's kind of crazy. We're actually going out. He was finally like, I need like a few days without my phone. We're actually going out of town for a weekend. And he's like, I'm actually, for the first time, I'm turning my phone off. Like, I'm not answering my phone for 3 days. And I'm like, well, I'm really busy and I have stuff going on,
So one more question, Kate. What last thing we do have to wrap up here?
Yeah. So my last question would be, if you could pinpoint one of the things you're most proud of in your business right now, what would that be?
A great question. I think it's just how fast that I've been able to grow this brand and transform it from being just a solely, vacant staging company just a year ago to what it is now, where we've done, over 120 staging consultations. We have done thus far over 65 vacant stagings. I literally started this business with absolutely nothing to my name. And I am definitely not doing too bad here today. And it's just been crazy. Like, what's so cool to me is that what it's made me realize is, indefinitely, when you actually make a decision towards something that you actually want, and you take action to make that thing happen, it still blows my mind, like how fast the universe will just start throwing what you want at you, and just kind of like provide all of the things that it's seriously crazy to me how fast that I've been able to grow this business. I have a full-time stager and stylist that I've recently hired. we're working with someone that's helping us with more like photographs and marketing. I have a part-time person, a couple part-time people, you know, that work with us regularly. So for me, just starting out, just me with nothing, and having, you know, a small team now, and just our rapid growth is just, it's awesome. I'm super proud of it.
I love that. Well, there's obviously no question why you're so successful, Kate. We all love you. And I can imagine the first time people look at your website or any of your social media, they can see the passion you have for your job. It's very, very evident. So on that note, how can people get in contact with you if they want to talk about stagings?
So you can give us a ring. Business line is 216-930-0075. You can shoot me an email, kate@homesliceliving.com. You can check out our brand new website, homesliceliving.com, and Facebook. I've been playing around with TikTok, and those are all at Homeslice Living.
Awesome.
What's your Instagram handle?
At Homeslice. Oh, mine personally?
Yeah, any of them.
Okay, so at Homeslice Living is my Instagram handle for the business, and then the Naughty Martha is my personal one.
And we'll drop all of those links and phone numbers in the comments below also, so you guys can get in touch with Kate. And we're so pumped to bring you a really exciting guest next week, guys.
Cool. Good stuff. Thank you, Kate. Thank you for being on. And
thanks for having me.
for sure. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.